Hello guys and welcome back to Summer Day Studios. In today's video, I am going to show you how you can combine two displacements on one material. We've had a few questions about it in the past. It seems kind of tricky to do, but actually it's really simple. So let's just get right into it. Use whatever model you like as long as it has UVs. Otherwise, well, you can use displacement without UVs, but generally it's better to have UVs for that. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So I have a open PBR surface applied to this. This will work as well if you're just using a Arnold standard surface as well, the older material type. It works exactly the same way. So let's just go ahead and create a displacement shader. So I'm just going to pull this to the side. Okay, and then we're going to plug this in like normal. Okay, and instead of just plugging a file texture into this like what we would normally do, we're going to create two file nodes because obviously we need two different displacement maps. Okay, and we're just going to create an AI mix shader. All right, and then we're going to delete this blue part that you don't need, and we're going to plug the out color from one into mix shader 2 and the out color from another into mix shader 1. Okay, and then we're going to take the out color red and plug that into the displacement. So this is the setup. All we need to do now is plug some materials into here. I was thinking I'm going to use a mixture of some bark and some normal wood, just for some nice contrast so you can see how this works. So let me quickly go ahead and link those up. I quite like this one, so I'm going to take the displacement from there. Just remember when you're plugging in displacement maps to change the color space from sRGB to utility and then raw, and tick alpha as luminance is on as well. I'll quickly go fetch that other material as well. Maybe I'll take this wooden plank material. It doesn't really make sense for that to be combined with bark, but you get the idea. Again, we'll change the color space to raw and then turn on alpha is luminance. Okay, so if I was to go ahead and render this now, you can see we're getting some kind of weird amalgamation. So we've got the bark showing up, but we also have the plank showing up. So it kind of is blending two displacements together, okay, through the mix. But you can see via the mix weight, it's just kind of doing it 50-50. So if I was to push this all the way up to one end, then Maya's going to throw a fit, so we have to restart the render. You can see it's just doing the planks, okay? But then if I put it all the way down to 0, and then we just restart our render again, it's just the bark. Actually, this displacement looks like it's going out a little bit too much, but you get the idea, right? So by default, this just blends it 50-50. But there's one other little trick we can do, and if you have any experience with the mix shader or if you've watched my other tutorials, you might know where this is going. We can use another material or node to drive the difference between these two materials. So let's say you wanted the top of this to be bark and the bottom to be just like wooden planks for whatever reason, right? Or the other way around or in any other direction. We could use a node like a ramp. Okay. And then we could take the out color red or just the alpha from that as well and plug that into the mix. And then we come back to our render, right, with our ramp open. If I was to adjust this by pulling back the darker portion of the gradient and then pull the lighter portion down, okay, then we just refresh our render. You can see that the bark now is receded towards the bottom, whereas the planks are coming more from the top, right? If we were to pull this even further back, you'll notice that the bark recedes even further down the cylinder. So you see, just by adjusting this ramp, we can very, very quickly change how much of one map is being used. We could even use an entirely different thing. We could say, you know, maybe we don't want to use a ramp. We'd rather use some sort of noise texture, right? To have it be a bit more random. Again, we could take the out color red and put that into the mix. Then if we just update our render here, so it doesn't freak out, you can see now we're getting a little bit more randomness into it. We're getting some of the plank in some spots and then some of the bark in other spots, and it depends on the noise, right? If I was to go ahead maybe and increase the frequency a bunch, you'll notice it's going to look a lot more spotty now, and we'll get a bunch more of the bark, right? So by playing around with the material that you plug into the mix, you can really create very, very different types of materials. So actually, it's not that hard to combine displacements at all. You can just use a mix shader. And then depending on the kind of look that you'd like, you just plug whatever you like into the mix itself to drive the difference. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful. That's a quick look at how you can combine two different types of displacements on one material. If you have any questions, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.